Hi, as you've read in the title, this video is going to be another reading for the forces of nature. I'm reading from the edited edition, as you can see. Today's excerpt is from chapter 8 and 9. The final sight to be seen on their tour was the dormitories that were on the top 2 floors of the western tower. The first floor was for the boys and the one at the very top was for the girls. The tower floors were not very big, but each contained 3 dormitories. Each dormitory was for the students of one of the 3 years. Inside there were bunk beds for 6 warriors. There the general and the captain were to leave them to rest before the big event that was going to take place in the early evening. Today is a day for celebration, the general explained. This evening will be very special. This evening you are going to have the real jewel of your powers. Also, you're going to meet the rest of the students at the celebration. With that, the general and Eric left the worn-out warriors and went downstairs. Once they were alone, Leo jumped on the bottom bunk nearest to the window and relaxed. "And why do you get to choose your bed first?" asked Andy as he took his cloak and flung it on the top bunk next to the door. Leo closed his eyes and ignored the question. Andy frowned at Leo's indifference for a while, but eventually he too jumped on his bed and relaxed. The rest of the warriors took the remaining beds without arguing or even talking, since they too were too tired to talk. All the events of their long day flashed in Leo's mind before he slept. It took a few seconds for Leo to drown into a deep sleep. And all the day's events seemed but dreams, and it seemed but seconds before he woke up on a voice calling. "Leo, wake up," said the voice. Leo opened his eyes and heard them about the place. "What strange dreams," said Leo, feeling one with his bed. Every muscle on his body too heavy to move. Still half awake, Leo didn't know where he was. And for a moment he believed it was all a dream that his fiction-inspired mind had fabricated. But then he saw Neil laughing. "I wish it was," said Neil, who was sitting on the bottom bunk next to Leo's, trying to wear his boots. Everything came back to Leo's memory. The rest house, the tunnels, the chase, and the fortress were real. The entire dormitory was alive with movement. All the boys were making themselves ready on the lights of 12 lanterns. "Ah, finally," said Neil, once he saw that Leo was awake. "Get ready, we're late for the party. Celebration." "What time is it?" asked Leo as he sat upright and looked at the window, which was dark outside. 7:30, said Leo, looking at his watch. "The girls have already gone to the theatre." "Theatre? They didn't show us the theatre. Apparently it's the place where they celebrate certain events here, like initiations and graduations. A warrior came here and told us about that while you were sleeping. He also said that we have to be down by 7:30, but we all slipped in. Can you imagine? The girls got ready before we did." "Well, I slept with my clothes on, so I'm ready," said Leo, who was even wearing his clothes. All the yards were full of movement. Warriors everywhere were busy doing something. The yards were lit by fire in every corner, and there were threads of humming glass balls stretched around the building and between the trees. Leo and his group, except for Andy and Terry, who didn't want to wait for the rest and went down first, found themselves lost in the wide grounds of the fortress and didn't know which way would lead them to the theatre. "Excuse me," Leo stopped the fast, handsome boy who rushed past them. He was wearing a red headband and an untidy medieval costume. Leo could swear he saw that boy before in Clothing Town, but in very different clothes. "Could you please tell us how to go to the theatre? We're new here." "You're the rest of the first-year students." The boy cheered up. "Pleased to meet you." The boy enthusiastically shook hands with Leo and the others. "My name is Callistus Nimbus." "That is the strangest name I've ever heard," said Patrick in innocent outspokenness. "Everyone thinks so too. Our parents certainly don't choose the easy names, do they?" said the boy good-humoredly. "You can just call me Cal. I'm the leader of the 2nd year. The theatre is that way, right around the building behind the main sculpture. See you there." And with that, the young warrior took off. "He looks very familiar," said Leo after the boy was gone. I'm sure I've seen him in Curtain Town. He's the paper boy, said Neil quickly. Oh, that's right, Lee remembered. There are a lot of familiar faces around here, said Neil. Apparently, most of our town is in on the secret about Josefia. It took me a while to remember, but that warrior we met at the entrance, named Jimmy, the one who saved our lives, is a distant cousin from my mother's side. They went around the building as instructed, but there they could not see no sculptures, and no one asked for directions either. It was dark there. They had walked away from all the lights. There they stopped walking, feeling lost. We should have taken the map they gave us, said Oliver in frustration. Can't believe how big this place is. What map? Asked Leo. A map of the fortress, he explained. The warrior that came to the dormitory brought it and said that it's a shared property, and that it will stay with us until we are able to navigate the fortress without a map. Unfortunately, Field and his friend took it with them, said Patrick. Why didn't they give one to each of us? Asked Leo. It's a security measure, I guess. They don't want to give away documents with details about the fortress. That's why the warrior that came urged us to memorize all the corners of the fortress before they take away the map, said Oliver. I think he was a bit smug about it, though. He was probably thinking, stupid freshman. That warrior was my cousin, said Patrick indignantly. And I'm very sure that was not what he was thinking. He's one of the guards. So what are we going to do now? Asked Neil. I think we should go back, said Patrick. What good would that do? We don't know where to go from there. Let's keep walking, said Leo. Great preparations back there. Did you see all those lights? Said Neil as they resumed walking. Judging by how we've been received today, it looks like we'll be much respected in this world. Captain Eric said that the warriors are respected in Josefia, said Oliver. Look how much he's respected around here. Captain Eric is respected because of his rank, said a boy they didn't see at first. He was leaning against the building, concealed by its shadow. You may only feel respected when you are around regulars, and that doesn't happen very often when you're still a student. Among the warriors community, respect goes by rank. What do you mean? Asked Patrick. The boy pointed at something far ahead. There was a warrior in green uniform, holding members by the shirt, apparently scolding him. If you wish to be a pirate or a gang member, let us know and you'll be expelled at once. This is not the proper outfit for a warrior, said the warrior in green. Go change these ranks at once. Who's that? Asked Neil. You probably mean the one screaming, said the boy. His name is Vicar Reed, but he goes by the name Light. He's the leader of all leaders here. Leaders? Asked Cleo. They will tell you all about that in the marking celebration, said the boy. I'm Troy, by the way. Is he a student too? Asked Patrick. Reed? Oh no, he graduated 2 years ago, and he works here ever since, said Troy. Graduated already? But he looks young, younger than most people here, said Neil. He was only 11 when he first came to the academy as a student, said Troy. It's never about your age here, it's always about your talent. Surely Eric told you that. Can you tell us where we can find the sculptures of the maids? Patrick reminded Neil. He said the maids. Yes, we were told that the theatre is right behind them. We're a bit lost, said Leo. I can take you there if you want. We're not far anyway, it's right around the keep, said Troy. Troy was right. They were not far. In just a few turns after passing the tall, dark, standalone building that seemed to be without an entrance, which Leo assumed was the keep, they were there. There they are, the sculptures, said Troy. They could see 4 very tall, detailed statues of beautiful women. Has anyone told you about the maids yet? No, who are they? Asked Leo. They are not precisely who, said Troy, squinting. The maids are the most important figures in the cosmic world. These 4 women are the most popular characters in all the history of Josefian culture. Josefian artists make them the subject of their works. They are the embodiment of the 4 elements. No one can see air or hold fire, and we can never grasp water or contain the earth. But certainly we can see the elements in the shapes of these women, assuming that if the elements were human, they would be women, right? Said Leo. It's not assumptions as much as a record of actual eyewitnesses. The maids are real. They may manifest themselves occasionally, or it takes an immense amount of power and a long time to summon them, said Troy without a hint of humor or sarcasm. and as strange as that sounded to the new warriors, they didn't comment. Apparently, there was nothing impossible in the cosmic world. That's it for now. I hope you enjoyed this part from The Forces of Nature. This book is available on Amazon and Kindle Unlimited. If you want to know more about these characters and the story, I often post about them in my Instagram account, which I usually link in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next video.